Welcome back, everyone. Strap in for another deep dive. Today, we're digging into something a bit different, a really insightful book called The Habit of Winning by Prakash Iyer. And what's interesting is it's not your typical, step-by-step self-help manual. Iyer was a top corporate exec, now a leadership coach.
All right.
And he uses stories, really engaging ones, to get his points across. So our mission today, it's really to unpack how ordinary people, like you and me, can build these habits for, well, extraordinary success.
Yeah, it's a great premise.
And there's one story I want to just put out there right at the start because it really stuck with me, the crackpot story. It's this simple tale about an old water pot with a crack.
Yeah.
It felt useless, flawed, but then discovered its crack was actually watering a path of beautiful flowers every day.
Such a good metaphor.
Exactly. Keep that in mind as we go because it really captures, I think, a lot of Iyer's wisdom.
It really does.
So let's jump right into that core idea, literally the title. Winning is a habit, not an accident. That's quite a statement to start with.
Oh, absolutely. It's bold. And, what I find fascinating is how it pushes back against this common idea that success is like these random bolts of lightning.
Right, flashes of genius.
Exactly. Or just pure raw talent that you're born with or you're not. Iyer's saying, no, it's about the consistency. It's about doing the right things day in, day out. He argues that the real winning habit isn't always visible. It's built on these small, almost humble actions that become second nature. Less about effort, more like just how you operate.
So less like forcing it, more like building an instinct for it.
Precisely.
Yeah.
It's this idea that huge successes often come from, well, just quietly getting the ordinary stuff right again and again.
That's actually quite empowering, isn't it? It means it's buildable, not just innate.
Yeah.
Which brings us neatly to something else he really stresses. Mindset often being more important than just skill set. Attitude, persistence, discipline, belief, sometimes mattering more than raw IQ or talent. How does he make that practical?
Well, he talks a lot about mental toughness, but not in a grim push through the pain kind of way.
Okay.
It's more about adaptive resilience. The best performers aren't just tough, they're constantly tweaking their internal story. Setbacks aren't failures, they're just data.
Data points for the next try.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's less about sheer willpower and more about this strategic internal shift, recalibrating your perspective almost constantly.
He uses brilliant examples, like Rahul Dravid in cricket.
Oh, yeah, the wall.
Right. Not always the flashiest player, maybe sometimes overshadowed. But Iyer points to the incredible consistency, his focus, just grinding it out, putting the hard yards.
Relentless.
That quiet dedication, day after day, that led to massive long-term success. It shows how the real winning habit can be built quietly, with intention, not just talent, learning and adapting constantly.
Yeah, it's a perfect example of that principle.
And speaking of setbacks, which, let's be honest, happen to everyone.
Oh, definitely.
Another big theme is resilience, that ability to just get back up after you fall flat on your face.
Which is crucial, and it raises the question, right, how do you actually develop that toughness? How do you learn from setbacks instead of just being crushed by them?
Yeah.
The book suggests it's about changing how you view failure, seeing it as feedback, basically, which ties right back to that crackpot story you mentioned.
Okay. Yeah, I see that connection.
It challenges us to rethink what perfect even means. Maybe our flaws, our cracks aren't bugs, they're features. They allow us to contribute in unique ways, ways a perfect pot couldn't.
That's a really powerful way to look at imperfections.
Yeah.
It definitely shifted my thinking. Now, another concept he introduces, which I've found really interesting, is little big acts. We all know small things add up, but what's his specific angle on this?
Well, it connects to that compounding idea, right? Daily actions matter. But Iyer's little big acts often share certain qualities. They tend to be acts of, say, empathy or humility or just radical consistency.
Right.
And they don't just build results, they build your reputation. They build trust. Think about it like smiling at someone every day or always keeping your word, helping out without being asked.
Now, all things.
Tiny things. But done consistently, they create this huge positive momentum. So it's not just any small act, it's the right small acts repeated that have that big impact over time.
And what I love is how he pulls examples from everywhere. High-pressure sports like Mahendra Singh Dhoni or Roger Federer and connects them directly to everyday corporate life.
Yeah, he's really good at that. Take Dhoni, Captain Cool.
Right.
Known less for flashy technique, more for that incredible calm under pressure, especially when things got tight. Iyer shows how that translates directly to leadership in, say, a tough business situation.
Staying calm when everything's chaotic.
Exactly. Leading, but also trusting your team. That's
Yeah.
a habit of leadership too, right? Not just seeking glory yourself. So these stories, they're not just entertaining. They offer real practical insights, whether you're a student, a pro, a manager, anyone, really.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of the core ideas. Let's maybe summarize the strengths of the book. What really stands out?
Well, first off, it's just very readable, isn't it?
Definitely. The short chapters, the storytelling format, it pulls you in.
Yeah, super accessible. And the examples, especially the Indian context ones, feel very grounded and relatable for many.
And I felt each story, even subtly, gives you something actionable. It makes you reflect on your own habits, your attitude.
Totally agree on those points. But, for a balanced view, there are maybe a couple of things to mention on the other side.
Okay, like what?
Well, for some readers, the main message is persistence, positive thinking, effort. They might start to feel a little repetitive across the stories.
I can see that. It hammers home the same core ideas through different narratives.
Right. Which isn't necessarily bad. But if you're looking for brand new concepts chapter after chapter, you might notice the repetition. Also, unlike, say, some Western self-help that goes deep into psychological models or cites lots of studies,
Yeah.
this book is much more anecdotal. It's wisdom through stories, less analytical, less heavy on the scientific research, which is fine. It's just a different style. Might be a limitation if you want that academic depth.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
Different strokes for different folks, basically.
Yeah.
So who should really pick this up then? Who is it for?
Well, I think if you're a student or maybe just starting your career looking for motivation, this is fantastic.
Yeah, definitely.
Managers, leaders trying to, inspire their teams. Lots of good stuff here. And honestly, I'd say anyone who's just feeling a bit stuck or going through a rough patch.
Looking for a mindset shift.
Exactly. Looking for that positive nudge, some direction, it could be really helpful.
So think of it less like a technical manual, maybe.
Precisely. It's not a blueprint guaranteeing success overnight. It's more like a heartfelt, story-driven guide. It encourages you to look at things differently, to start building those habits that, naturally lead to better outcomes. It nudges you towards that winning mindset, one small act at a time.
So wrapping up on The Habit of Winning by Prakash Iyer. It's inspiring, super easy to read, just packed with life lessons told through these really powerful, relatable stories. It pushes you to find the extraordinary in the ordinary.
Yeah, beautifully put. We definitely give it a solid, say, 4 out of 5 stars. It's a perfect book to just have around, kick up when you need that little boost of inspiration or a reminder about what really drives success.
It's a great bedside read.
Totally. Now, here's something for you, our listeners, to think about as you go about your day. Considering everything we've discussed Iyer's little big X, that cracked pot idea, what's one single, maybe small, consistent action, or perhaps even an imperfection you've overlooked? What could you embrace or start doing differently starting today that might just contribute to your own unique winning habit? Something to mull over.